Sharon, what's the story?
This is our Valentine's Day cruise. With all the lovely shipping containers. Off to Albania.
Arriving in Albania.
Arriving in Albania, we were immediately met with beautiful views of mountains and passes. This is the Llogora Pass, which I thought we were going to do on a separate day, but as it turned out, Doug added it to our route on the way to Serenade.
I was just looking for the curvy roads.
Yeah, we found the curvy roads, that's all right. The water there is so beautiful and blue, and snow still on the mountaintops. This was in February. Saw many of these different bunkers along the way. This is our first happy smiley face one we met.
These are just some of the marinas in a town that we were staying in. And as we were wandering through the marinas, we found yet again some more bunkers.
Which of course Doug had to do a little first-hand exploring on. Many of these would be linked together, as you can see here.
Turned out there were 173,000 of these built in Albania in the communist era.
What you doing, Doug?
Setting up our new headsets that we got because our old ones were dying. And my wife apparently likes to be able to communicate with me while we're riding. You can never be too safe.
Never too safe.
So we stayed in a town called Serenade for about a week, and while we were there, then we would just take some little outing trips, and this was one of the trips we took along the way.
We were still getting ready for the season, and the water was a little cold to swim in, but it looked inviting. We also went to this site, which is an old Roman ruin, very well preserved, and this is a well that you can see the grooves on.
From the buckets and the ropes.
Yeah, they saw a lot of use. This site would have been used by a lot of Romans who would have come to Albania from Italy. And you can kind of see where Albania is very close to Greece and Italy.
So we found a great spot to see the sunset at. But every time we come here, we keep thinking of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Catching the sunset became a bit of an evening ritual, and the skies did not disappoint.
Took some time to clean the bikes, and while we cleaned the bikes, I met some neighbors, and their kids were very interested in hanging out and playing on them.
Maybe some future riders. More bunkers. This one was by the post office, which you'll hear more about later.
Just wandering through the town, we would see these buildings in disrepair right next to buildings that were in full living condition, and Albania just had lots of that. So what you got?
Well, I thought I bought natural 3.8% milk, but apparently I've got yogurt in a bottle. This was a new wall that they were building, but you could really see how techniques have not changed a whole lot, and we wondered how long will those walls stand for.
Another one of our ride outs that I went and found some little rougher roads than Sharon would appreciate. Some moss and some very unique designs. And also just I kind of saw some living quarters of people in sort of these tent towns along the way.
Of course, we found cows too, and sheep, and lots of other livestock.
So this whole river is coming out of this hole in the ground beneath us. Pretty cool.
So this particular blue eye has been explored by divers, and they've gotten down 50 meters, but they're still not totally sure how deep it is, and it pumps out 18,400 liters per second. The color of the water is incredible.
Can't imagine trying to dive down a hole with that much flow coming out of it. Very clear, very mineral rich.
Making friends with the puppies in town. And Doug getting a much needed haircut. A little younger looking without the beard. And?
We've received our documents from Canada.
What you got there, Doug?
I'm counterfeiting our bike registration since I lost one, so.
More roads and more driving, which we took advantage of while we were waiting for all the documents to come. So it was replaced driver's license, stuff we realized we had not gotten back from when we first came in to Albania had to replace. That was what we were doing at the print shop. One last bunker that had a bunch of goats coming out of it, and on our way to Greece.
So this was a cave system that they were very particular we weren't allowed to video, and I, being me, decided I must video anyways because I wanted to catch it, but I kept getting in trouble from Sharon.
Because I kept getting in trouble from the guide who said, "Can you tell your husband to stop videoing, please?"
And she couldn't, but when she looked at me, I'd stop. Sometimes.
It's a powerful glare.
Moving on to Thessalonika. This was our parking spot for the night as we stayed in a little Airbnb. We can always find parking somewhere.
And this is Aristotle Square, where the pigeons were flying in quite the formations. Can't see it, but there is a statue of Aristotle that people would rub the toe on.
And of course some more rooms.
And we're going on this side.
Albania. Where should Greece go?
Rhetorical question there.
And for those who don't know their flags,